Alrighty, so this is a very impromptu stream. Um, this is a follow-up from yesterday's because I spent a bit of time last night because I can't leave things alone. I have this problem. Um, when I get started on a problem, when I get started on a coding problem, and I get stuck, I can't leave it alone. So my brain ticks away. So after the stream yesterday, I went and took a look at Axios, however you pronounce it. Axios is basically a JavaScript library for creating HTTP requests. I've used it before. I think I used it when I was working on the Seriously Simple podcasting plugin. What's really cool about it is it allows you to create post requests. The window fetch method, for obvious reasons, only allows you to make requests to fetch data. So like an Ajax request, Axios actually allows you to create a post request. So you can create a request to an endpoint. You can pass it in data, just like we're doing in our Backbone.js client code and in the Postman code. And what you can also do is you can pass in some authentication headers. You can pass in some authentication. You can pass in an authentication object, which is the HTTP basic auth. So that's one way that you could write code to authenticate with your REST API requests if you don't have if the user is not logged in and you want to store that data somehow. But obviously, if you configure this, then that's going to be sitting in your code. So then I did some more reading and some more research, and I came across this Stack Overflow topic, specifically about how to send basic auth with Axios, asked 5 years ago. And 5 years ago, if you wanted to do authentication, you had to base64 encode your username concatenated to a semicolon and your password and pass that in as an authorization header. Now that's basically how you would do authorization for basic auth if you on the command line curling or whatever. So in Axios you had to base64 encode it, which is really cool because that means that I can, in my plugin code, I can specify an application user, an application password or application key, whatever you want to call it, constant in my WordPress config file, which here is using my local application password, and will eventually use my live application password, which I will not share on a live stream. And then I can set up the application key doing the base64 encoding with the word basic in front of it, which is what it needs, and set that as a cookie. So that all you end up seeing in the cookie, I don't think I've saved that what that text looks like, but I do have it in my debug log, is this string. Now, if you're clever, you could just base64 decode it for sure. And there's nothing stopping you from doing that and passing out the username and the password. So sharing this information via stream might be daft. I don't know. But it will prevent the average user from stumbling across this information and spamming the post. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. It's one way of doing it. It's not the most secure way, because if somebody that I share this link with goes and gets the cookie and hacks it and base64 decodes it, then they could get the username and password. Which I guess is not as secure as I think it is. But it's a level of security. So that's one way of doing things. Cool. I wonder if there's a way to make it more secure somehow. Can't think of one. So hey, if somebody hacks my site and creates a whole bunch of posts, then so be it. I'll just revoke that password. But at least what it does mean is that it means that the password is not sitting in the code. It does require somebody to have a bit of sense, a bit of brains. Brains is the wrong word. Knowledge of how to do these things. So I'm going to go with it as okay. The other thing that I was thinking of doing was because what I could do in the REST API endpoint, I could create a custom endpoint and then the application password. I wonder. You don't have an option to. So what I could just do is I could set it up as like a separate site. So I might just do that. I set it up as a separate WordPress install and let people post to that thing, whatever. I don't care. It's a little bit more secure. It's not the most secure, but it works. So I'll find a way to prevent somebody from hacking my personal site. I'll probably set up a questions.jonathan.bossinger.com domain. And then if somebody figures out the username and password, I'll just delete those. It's not a problem. But that's how I'm going to go ahead and do this. So application key. Oh wait, I need that application key from the cookie. So the other thing that I did was I figured out how to read. So in the PHP, I'm setting it as a cookie and passing it using the PHP set cookie function, which basically creates a cookie on a per user basis. So that's another thing. So anybody who hacks this is somebody who has RSVP'd to this meetup session or is watching the live stream. So then you know me and you're just being rude. And I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm kind of hoping the combination of those two things will prevent anybody from hacking a WordPress site of mine and just spamming it with stuff, but I'll set up a separate site just to be on the safe side. So that's that. So there's the key. The key comes from the cookie. I can then pass the key in. And then on my local site, if we look at questions, there are a bunch of tests that I just did. I'm going to just delete all of these very quickly. So let's just move these to trash. And empty the trash. And this is the code that I'm currently using just to test all of this. So it's just passing in the title, the content, and the email. And then all I'm doing is I'm running this post question from the command. So here I am logged in, or not logged in. I'm running as a private window. And so if I run the post question function, it runs the code, it's authenticated, it's all happy. If I go back to that site and look at the questions, there it is, it's in draft mode. So that's all working, and I'm quite happy with all of that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tie this all up to the form. So we had it as a shortcode, which is cool. I think I had it on this post over here. It was the Ask Me Anything post. Why have I got two of these? I'm going to trash one of them. So let's view this one. Okay, so there's all of those things. So it is this button. And if you're wondering where, sorry, I just realized, if you're wondering where I got this get cookie code from, it's in the w3schools.com website about JavaScript cookies. There is some example functionality that I copied around here somewhere. Here we go, get cookie. So I'm using that. Okay, so that's post question. So now I need to set up the button. So let's say I'm going to change this to a const here. I could use let as well. I don't think it matters too much. I know let is when you want things to be able to change later, but you can also use const. So I'm going to leave that function as it is. I'm going to leave this as it is. And then here I'm going to say post question button equals document post question. If post question button, add the link and then post the question. I need to get the values. So let's go title. And let's get the title. So it was w.amate title. It's actually going to be the person's name, but that's fine. There's probably an easier way to do what I'm doing here, but wp.amate content, that's correct, and wp.amate email. Okay. I'm echoing something somewhere that I don't need to echo. It's up here somewhere. Just remove that. Oh, that's fine. Okay. And that's just my debug log when I was testing things earlier. And then email. Constant email. Okay, that's fine. And then I just need to wrap the content with some paragraphs. So I think the easiest way is just going to be to wrap the string around the content. And this always messes with me. In JavaScript, you need to use the plus sign or the addition sign to concatenate strings. In PHP, you use the full stop or the period. That always messes with me. I don't want promotion. If you come into my chat and you start carrying on about promotion things, you get banned. That's just the way it is. I'm here to teach people how to code. I'm not here to promote my content. I don't care. Okay, so that gets the content sorted out. So now we can pass in the title, the content, and the email. Okay, so then cool. And then we would like to do some kind of response. And I'm just going to keep it super simple and make it. So what I could do is I could post a response in the response area. So let's move the response area higher up. Because what I would like people to be able to do is, I'm going to say, please ask your question. And then I'm going to update that with things. Okay. So let's create a response element. So you can say let there. I think I can just leave that as const actually as well, because the element's not going to change. I'm just going to change the value. So then here I can say response element dot value, no value equals posting your question. Oh wait. There's probably going to be a Axios way to do that while it's response config interceptors. I'll just say your question has been posted. It'd be cool if there was a way that I could update it while things are posting, but I'll have a look for that now. Okay, and then oops, something went wrong. Please try again. Okay, so that'll at least give us some kind of response there. Okay, and now we need to actually go to that page. Ha ha ha. Where is it? It's this one. And I'm making sure I'm testing this on a non-logged in site. Okay, so let's go john@gmail.com, content. Please tell me how to do X. Whatever. Submit. Okay, something broke. Did it even fire? Doesn't look like it. Oh, I used the wrong ID. Okay, that should do the trick. Yes, john@gmail.com. Please help me do X, whatever. Why is it not triggering? Yeah, so one of two things is happening. Either my code is not firing. So let's test that. See that. Post question is not defined. Okay. And I think that's because I hooked it onto WP API. So that's fine. I'm just going to leave that out. That should fix it. So I had that waiting on WPA, the Backbone JS client to be available before things happened. Let's make sure that that works now. Still undefined. Okay, well, let's see. There's Axios, but my code is my code's not being included for some reason. I wonder why that is. WP API is there. Axios is there. Are we going wrong somewhere? Oh, there's a bug somewhere. I've done something wrong. What have I done wrong? On line 42. Can't I set cookie and a plugin in it? Maybe I need to do it at the top of the plugin. A second here. Okay, let's put that code back. refresh that. That's fine. Oh, there's the low name. It is there. Okay. So if I go, first question. Weird. What's going on here? Oh, it is fine. Okay, it is firing. So I should have a bunch of questions. Empty ones. Ah, that's weird. Maybe this is wrong. Oh, it's a div. It's a div, not a text area. Duh. There. That should work. Okay, now what I also need to do is I need to make sure that these things aren't empty. So let's make sure they're all not empty. So it's a if. And then I need to, so let's make these all lets. So if you make them constant, you can't change them. Okay, and so there's there, and then we say content equals the wrapping. There's probably a better way to do this. Don't care, to be honest. Okay, so that should work if they're empty. If not, blah, blah, blah. Then we need to please fill out all fields. Then we can update the content, and then we can post it. So let's see if that works. Where is my... Okay, so if I hit submit now, okay, I think it returns true if it's empty. So I'll just do it this way. That should work. man. Well, it's because I'm doing the triple. My PHP and my JavaScript are getting confused. See what happens there. Yeah, that works. Why is that not working? I figure this out if it kills me. I sworn that maybe it's just HTML? Oh. It's inner HTML like that. That's why. Okay, so let me just see if I switch this back to what it was, whether that works, because that should have worked. Pretty sure if it's empty, it'll be false. Let's try that again. Yes, thank you. Good grief. And I wonder if we can get a background color on it or something. Yeah, no. Style, background. Think that'll work. I'm not sure. Let's see. It's been a while since I've done inline styles in JavaScript. Some element style. Here we go. Background color red. Do something like this. Element.style. Element.style. Background color red. Let's see what it looks. Keeping this super simple. Ha, that works. Okay, So while we're here, let's just give it some margin. No, I need padding. Can never remember. There. That's better. And then if we go John at gmail.com question. Okay. Right. Good. John, question. Question's been posted. We can change it to green. Might get some better colors just now. Styling is going to be very simple. Okay. Questions. So there's the latest question. There's the question. There's the email. Perfect. Okay. And then I should probably clear. Question's been posted. Okay, that's good. Then it would probably be nice to clear the questions once they've been posted. So then let's do a clear form and just clear all the fields. That's good. And for the colors, I'm going to steal them from Bootstrap, because they've got the most interesting reds and greens for these things. Components alerts. There we go. There's a lovely green. So what color is that? This is how I find colors, in case you're wondering. I steal them from frameworks. There we go. So there, and then const red background equals, and we'll see whatever the red background is. Subtle. That one. I hope it would be so awesome if that was the color. It's the color. Oh, that's just brilliant. I don't know where Copilot got that from, but that's just brilliant. Okay, so then we can change this to red background. Change this to green background. Change that to, and there's other, I mean, we could do other things. We could create a function that specifies the color with the message. We could do all kinds of other fun things there, but I'm not going to worry about that now. Take out the console logs. Okay, let's test this. I'm probably going to keep it this simple. I'm going to clean up the form a little bit. So if I hit submit, please fill out all the fields. john@gmail.com, question. Submit. The question has been posted. Excellent. So let's clean up the form a little bit. I think the easiest way to do that is going to be to put these form fields inside of divs to begin with. So let's start by doing that. So originally when I had planned to build this thing, I had planned to build it using React. It's so simple that I don't need React anymore, so I'm not going to bother. I'm just keeping it as a simple shortcode for now, and that should be fine. Okay, that's a bit better. Now what we can do is we can pad these divs a little. So let's say pad them 20 pixels from each other. Okay. And then we'll do, okay, so let me just, so learn AMA. So now I can enqueue some styling for this plugin. So WP learn AMA. And it would be really cool if I could enqueue these things only when the shortcode is used. There is a way to do that. I have done it before. I think I did it in Seriously Simple Podcasting. I'm not going to worry too much about it now, if I'm honest. I want these to load after the WP API. There. And then I'm going to register style, WLearn AMA, path to the file. Doesn't have any dependencies. So that's an empty array. I think the next one is version. So I'll make it time for now. String source, dependencies, version, media. Yeah, that's right. What am I doing? Opening up something else. I'll update those time values with actual versions once I'm finished developing. Okay, and then that's the style, and then WP enqueue style, WP learn AMA. Good. Okay, and then we're going to work on the learn AMA. in the CSS. So we'll work on that. And we'll say any div inside of that, any inside the form div. As far as I know, that'll work. And we said it was padding 20 pixels 0. My CSS is not that great, I'll be honest. But I think that should focus all divs inside of the form. So let's see if that works. Indeed, that worked. Then we want to do something with the labels. I'm going to give them 0 and 10 pixel padding. I just want to see what that does, just to give me something to work with. Yeah, okay, so let's have a look at the labels. So the labels, I just want padding on one side. That's what I want. 0, 10, 0, 0. 0, 10, 0, 0. Doesn't look great. What I think I need to do is I need to make them a fixed width. So let's make them width, let's say 25%. Okay, display block. There, width 10%. That looks a lot better. My CSS is not great, so I tend to fiddle with it in the browser like that. Okay, that looks a bit better. Okay, let's make the text area a little bit larger. So let's say colors can be, I don't know, 100? Might be too big. Yeah, it's way too big. Let's say 50. It's a bit better. And let's say close 25. Way too much. Way too much, maybe 10. That's cool. And then I want this label to be wider. Oh, not the label, the text area. No, not the text area. The input. No. 100% width. Okay, so that sorts that out. And let's make the text areas, no, not the text areas, the inputs. I think there's a way you can actually specify the text input, I'm going to leave it like that for now. Yeah, that looks a bit better. The button looks massive, but that's fine. I don't care. What if I make that a button? I just say button. I don't need to worry about the type. And then it should get its own styling. But then I need to give it a value. There. I like that. That looks nice and neat. I don't know how responsive it's going to be. It's not going to be very responsive, but that's fine. I don't... No offense to mobile folks. That I don't care about you. But that's not why I'm doing this today. What I can do is I can check what this looks like on a mobile device. Yeah, it doesn't look great, but it's usable. I apologize, mobile folks. I should spend time doing this. I know I should. I wonder if I can quickly... This should be like by percentages or something. Sorry, folks. I'm not gonna. I'm not dissing mobile folks. It takes a lot more time than what I have to work on this. But yes, I should make it responsive so it jumps down and all of those kind of things. I agree. I should. Okay. I think that's it. I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Now I need to set up the sort of test site that can handle this with the user, set that up in the config, but I'm pretty happy with that. This was a very quick and dirty solution. WordPress content plugins, WP learn. I might have some time to work on this tomorrow, clean it up, make it more mobile responsive, those kind of things, but I don't have time to do that now. I'm just committing this to the repository so I don't lose this code. And then I'll set up the site and test it there. Adding final bits and pieces. This repository is not public currently. I probably will make it public eventually, but it isn't currently. Just because I didn't want... Oh, man. I didn't want the code that I had committed to be public because it included... This was my local passwords. It's not the end of the world, I guess. But yes, that's where I'm going to end this part of the stream, how I ended up solving this problem. The base64 encoded username and password in the cookie is not the most secure solution. The best way to do it would actually be to have like a user login or JSON Web Token or one of those things. But for my purposes, it's perfectly acceptable. So that's where I'm going to end that. And I'll post this video on my YouTube if you want to catch the follow-up. I don't know if you were watching. If you were watching, I hope you learned something. If you didn't, then that's also fine. Hopefully you weren't all just bots. But that's me for today. Thanks for joining.